David Wade. We asked for a loud crowd. We got one.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us at home, in your living room, and here in this room as well. It is packed. Hundreds of excited, dedicated riders, including my friends, my partner, Lisa Hughes, who will be biking 192 miles from here in Sturbridge to Provincetown, and I swear they'd keep going if there wasn't an ocean there.
It's so true. And there are thousands more who are going to be joining us on the road this weekend. A record number, 6,000 riders this year. Yes, the PMC raises more money for charity than any single event in the country. Every penny of every dollar going directly to cancer research and treatment at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And here is a look at the incredible results over 35 years. The PMC has raised $455 million to fight cancer so far, and we are only getting started.
So the PMC has grown from just a couple dozen riders back in 1980, probably enough just to fit here on this stage. And now it is huge. It is known around the world as the best of the best.
And the driving force behind this great event, PMC founder Billy Starr.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you both. It's great to have both hosts who happen to be PMC alumni, David twice, what's your name? Lisa lining up for her 5th time. Welcome back to Sturbridge and the PMC, the nation's largest single athletic fundraising event.
Okay, we talked about the record number of people. Why 6,000 riders? How did this number get so big this year, do you think?
I think it was the rain. It didn't stop anybody.
Really?
The cause is important. I think this crowd speaks well of the PMC. Come rain, hell or high water, we're riding our bikes and we're enjoying each other. It's a meaningful weekend.
Billy, I don't know how you did this 35 years ago because you only look like you're 35 years old. But
Thank you. I'll take it.
Did you ever dream that you would have a number like $45 million as your goal?
No, but I had the kind of mind where I thought I could grow it. Year by year, if I went from 40,000 to 60,000, that was 50% growth, and I think I could sell that idea, and here we are. So,
well, you're doing a great job, Billy. While this, of course, is a fun weekend for all of us, it is also extremely personal.
I mean, we've all been touched by cancer, and the whole time you're riding, you're thinking about your friends and your family members and your coworkers who face this disease, and they inspire us to take on this challenge.
And, of course, in order to raise the millions of dollars, all of these riders have to put in a ton of work first.
On this weekend alone, PMC riders will log over 1 million miles ridden.
There are 12 PMC routes. They run through 46 towns, ranging from 27 miles to 192 miles, and the longest ride starts right here in Sturbridge at 5:30 tomorrow morning. These riders are going to take off from Babson College in Wellesley at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we all meet up in Bourne on Saturday. Sunday, we head out very early, and we ride to that glorious finish line in Provincetown, and that, of course, is where we party.
The culture of the PMC can be summed up in one word: committed. And these riders demonstrated that commitment in a huge way last year, riding through the worst weather in our 35-year history.
It was unbelievable. We had wind, we had driving rain, temperatures in the low 60s. I mean, it definitely tested riders, volunteers, supporters, everybody along the route, and yet together we got through it. This year, we are going to be enjoying the sunshine, and yes, we'll get a little bit of summer heat.
So probably your favorite person in the world right now is our meteorologist, Danielle Niles, a 6-year PMC rider. She is live at Babson College in Wellesley tonight. Danielle, give us the good news about the forecast.
Okay, the good news is that the sun is going to be shining. Yes, it'll be a little bit warm, but nothing we can't handle, especially after last year. You guys, I've got a great crowd behind me. Are we ready? We are getting pumped up here at the Pan Mass Challenge, and I have to say, last year, even for the opening ceremonies, we were tracking a couple of downpours. We don't have that this year. It is a gorgeous evening out here. I know you're wondering, Are we going to see any rain? Let's take you to the PMC forecast here. Temperatures tomorrow and Sunday morning, I should point out, in the morning will be in the upper 50s to lower 60s. So it'll be a beautiful start, comfortable temperatures. We will rise pretty quickly through the 70s into the 80s by late morning tomorrow. And the feels-like temperature will be up near 90 degrees. The humidity will be moderate. And yes, there is an isolated risk for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm tomorrow, but I think that'll actually be welcome news. It'll cool us down a little bit if we do get one, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s on Sunday. So tomorrow morning, about 2,400 riders are going to take off from Babson College, heading for P-Town, 163 miles away on Sunday. Another 600 riders will take part in the one-day ride, including myself. This is the 16th year the race has started here at Babson College, and adding this start in Wellesley has significantly increased the number of riders, a number of which are behind me right now. And I have to say, the energy is high. You can feel it out here at Babson College. Lisa, we'll send it back to you in Sturbridge for now.
All right, that's great news, Danielle. Thank you. Talk about inspiration. The cancer survivors who ride the Pan Mass Challenge are known as living proof, and they know firsthand how important these fundraising dollars are to Dana-Farber. And they also know that the PMC represents hope. This weekend, we have 600 survivors riding or volunteering. That is a phenomenal number. And we have had the honor of meeting one living proof rider who is dedicated to his country, to his community, and to this cause, a man who doesn't know the word quit.
More than what I imagined.
JD served 2 tours in Iraq, and when he came home, he faced a new battle, cancer.
I was first diagnosed with testicular cancer when I was 29 years old.
That cancer spread quickly. JD has had 10 invasive procedures in just 3 years.
2 brain surgeries, 2 lung surgeries, 2 rounds of chemo, 2 rounds of radiation, and 2 other surgeries.
That also led to a strong bond with his doctor at Dana-Farber, Chris Sweeney. JD still remembers Dr. Sweeney's reassuring words from their first meeting.
He said, let the healing begin.
And the healing started with a stationary bike in his hospital room on day 1 of his chemo.
Who gets fitter after on chemotherapy? JD. The reason why JD came out stronger is because he didn't lose a second.
I asked about, what I could do to move around. They said they could bring in a bike, so I started, hooked up to the IVs and started pedaling. It felt great.
Dr. Sweeney rode his first PMC last year and asked JD to ride this year.
Figured I'd give it a shot.
The cancer cost JD sections of both lungs, but he refuses to let that hold him back.
I mean, being in Iraq, someone always had it worse than you did. There's no reason to be negative about certain things and say, I've had enough.
That drive and positive spirit will power him through the 192 miles on his bicycle with his doctor by his side.
Doing it this year with JD is a huge honor.
And JD and his team, Thin Blue Ride, are here tonight. JD, first of all, thank you for your service to our country. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Not just a big weekend because it's the ride, but also because it's the 1-year anniversary cancer-free.
Yeah, this weekend, 1 year cancer-free.
Wow. I know you don't know what to expect out there for the ride itself. What are you looking forward to most?
At first, I kind of I've been training a lot, so, I like going fast. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to take it easy, take pictures, enjoy the weekend, because since February, we signed up and had, the fundraising going. But now it's, enjoy the weekend. It's the one time we get to fight back with cancer. Every other day, it's, we have to deal with it like everyone else has dealt with it. So this weekend, we get to enjoy it.
Your own personal fight is going great. We congratulate you on that, and thank you so much for riding this weekend. JD, let's send it over to Billy Starr.
As a young boy, our next guest survived cancer that cost him his leg. He's now a passionate advocate for the disabled, a healthcare lawyer, and a state senator in Connecticut. Please help me welcome Ted Kennedy, Jr.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here tonight in Sturbridge, and I'm Ted Kennedy, Jr., but I'm also a pediatric bone cancer survivor. a former patient at the Dana-Farber, and I too am living proof. Although I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old, and that was over 40 years ago, I vividly remember losing my leg and the 2 years of clinical trials that followed at the Dana-Farber, and my parents scoured the country to try to find the doctors and treatment to save the life of their son, just like every other parent does. And I'm telling you, when they met Dr. Emil Fry and Norm Jaffe and the other doctors at the Dana-Farber, their dream came true. I'm here tonight to say thank you for saving my life. When I arrived at the hospital, I was worried, I was scared, I was embarrassed about my hair falling out, my stump made me feel deformed, and I know we're here to raise money for the cutting-edge treatments that all the resources of the Pan Mass Challenge will go to, but I want to give a special shout-out this evening to the nurses at the Dana-Farber. The nurses are aware, and for those of you who've been treated for cancer, you know, there's nothing more important than a committed nurse. And the Dana-Farber has the most skilled and highly trained nurses, of course, but they also have nurses that know that cancer patients need more than just chemotherapy and radiation and surgery. We need to be treated as a whole person, and we need social and emotional support. And and thanks to you, the Dana-Farber is really taking the lead nationwide in addressing treating the whole person. And the nurses at the Dana-Farber gave me hope. They turned my despair into strength and pride. And they gave me the self-confidence and encouragement and determination that I needed to endure those 2 years of chemotherapy. Most importantly, they gave me the understanding that I could do anything with my life. And so I'm here to say thank you to Dana-Farber. Thank you to Dr. Benz for your 16 years at the helm of the Dana-Farber. Thank you to Billy Starr, my good friend David Fialco, of course WBZ, and all the riders of the Pan Mass Challenge. It's great to be here with all of you.
After 36 years, we are on the brink of reaching a cumulative total of $500 million raised since 1980. To reach that $500 million mark, we have a big goal in mind. And Red Sox Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez wants to deliver the pitch.
Hi, Massachusetts. This is 45, the one and only. 45 is the main goal that we want to actually achieve for the Pan Mass. So remember, this benefits the Jimmy Fund. I'm part of it. Are you?
You heard it from Pedro. This year's goal is $45 million. That is a significant reach over last year's $41 million. The PMC has been growing, thanks primarily to its increasing ridership, at a clip of about 2.2 million per year for the last 5 years. To achieve a single year $4 million increase will be both difficult and extraordinary. There's still plenty of time to donate to your favorite rider or to the PMC cause. Just log on to pmc.org.
And that PMC funding is raising money ultimately for a cure for cancer, but those dollars are making a difference at Dana-Farber right now.
The money raised makes up more than half of Jimmy Fund's fundraising completely. $9.6 million of the money that was raised last year is now being used to fund state-of-the-art research labs at Longwood Center. The PMC money helps to recruit, of course, world-class researchers who only have one goal, and that is to find a cure.
And we're all a part of that in this room.
And the man who makes sure that all the money gets spent in the most effective way possible is the Dana-Farber president, Dr. Edward Benz, and he's here in the audience with us tonight.
That's right. Next summer, Dr. Benz is going to be stepping down as the president of Dana-Farber, but he will always be a part of Dana-Farber, and he will always be a part of our PMC family. And Dr. Benz, thank you for everything you've done. We wish you the very best.
Well, now to a woman who wears 3 different hats during the PMC.
That's right. Denise Singleton started as a volunteer, then she became a rider, but before she starts her training every spring, she also runs one of the biggest PMC kids rides in the whole state.
That was pretty special. This is my PMC warehouse. It has taken over my garage.
Denise doesn't see herself as a hero, but she wants to set an example.
But I love these steep hill ahead. That's good. That's a good warning.
It is a good warning because you have to remind them it's not a race.
But for this volunteer, ride coordinator, and now 2-year rider, there is urgency in raising money for cancer research.
My sister is one of the people right now who's fighting for a new treatment, a clinical trial, something that will keep her alive, and I will be there hopefully to see that happen.
Her husband Ted also lives with cancer. He was diagnosed with lymphoma 10 years ago, and this year he'll ride his first PMC.
I'm really proud that he's going to ride, and it'll definitely be a challenge, but we'll be doing it together. You ready, guys? I've wanted to ride since the first day I volunteered over 12 years ago. I just was afraid to do it.
Denise overcame that fear last summer when a neighbor who'd signed up for the PMC broke her wrist training.
In that moment, I just said, I'm going to do this for you.
She couldn't have known what Mother Nature had in store. Her one-day ride, Wellesley to Bourne, was the coldest and wettest in PMC history. And yet, she says, remembering her favorite quote, she loved it.
Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. And I guess I felt like I was dancing in the rain last year along with everybody else as the puddles splashed.
Denise is the only person I met who said that she loved riding in the rain last year. That tells you what kind of an optimist she is. No rain this year. It sounds like it is going to be a very nice ride.
Sorry, Denise, you're going to be dancing in the sunshine this year. Danielle Niles is live at Babson College in Wellesley with more. Danielle.
You guys, I'm joined right now by 3-year rider Megan Martin and her family. Megan was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 30 when she was pregnant with her youngest son. Megan, first of all, thank you so much for riding. And secondly, chasing these little guys around, how do you have time to train?
I don't have a lot of time to train, but they keep me busy, so hopefully I'll be in good shape.
I'm sure you'll do fine. Now let me ask you, what does the PMC mean to you?
So many things. I mean, I feel like Dana-Farber has really given me so much hope and really just more time with these guys, and so I'm really thankful for all the money that gets raised for the PMC.
Now, your husband Patrick is with us too. You are always here for support, but you're doing something special this year.
I'm going to ride alongside my wife and support her, and I just wanted to thank all the donors and all the other riders out there. Everything really means a lot, and it's impacting our family, and it's impacting thousands of other families too, so thank you.
We're ringing the bell for a first-time rider right here for you. Now, guys, who are you going to be cheering for this weekend?
Mom, Dad, Mom, and
Absolutely.
Mom and Dad and Grant.
I love your face paint, by the way. Congratulations. Thank you for riding. Guys, we'll send it back to you in Sturbridge for now.
Right now, I want to introduce you to 5-year PMC rider Josh Blum. Tonight, Josh is sharing the story of his father, the motivation behind his PMC every year. Please welcome Josh Blum.
I registered for my first Pan Mass Challenge in January of 2011 as a way to honor the courage and resolve of my father, Jerry Blum, who would be turning 75 that September and who had been battling multiple myeloma, a type of blood-based cancer, for the previous 15 months. That March, my father began a prolonged stay at the hospital. During that time, he never complained, never gave up, and when I'd visit, after news of my family and job, we'd talk about the PMC. He was always touched by friends who had sent donations and good wishes and moved by the number of people who wanted to help. Talking to my father about the ride helped me feel I was doing something for him when I felt so powerless otherwise. My dad passed away on Tuesday, August 2nd, 1 month before he would have turned 75, and 3 days before the PMC. We held his funeral that Thursday, and the following afternoon I left my family to drive up to Sturbridge. I had no idea what to expect or how I'd manage to complete the ride, now in my father's memory rather than in his honor. What I found was beyond anything I could have imagined. Thousands of people, riders, volunteers, supporters, all of whom believed, many who knew firsthand that something could be done to fight cancer. That's why they were riding or making sandwiches or standing on the shoulder of the highway, cheering us on in the pre-dawn light. Throughout the weekend, I was carried along by the energy and optimism that pervades every aspect of the ride. Cancer, the cause that brought us all together, was devastating, but the spirit of the event was joyous and inspiring. Pulling into the Provincetown Inn that Sunday was incredibly emotional. I was amazed by everything I'd experienced and overwhelmed by the profundity of the loss I felt, a feeling that never seems to go away. Each year, getting off the bike in Provincetown feels like I'm saying goodbye to my father all over again. I'm not sure the last time in his life my dad rode a bicycle. I never saw him on one. But thanks to the PMC, I can't get on my bike without remembering him and keeping him with me. For this, and for all the ride has come to mean for my family and countless other families, I'm incredibly grateful.
Thank you, Josh, for sharing your story. Well, you know, he is a 12-year PMC rider, but had an issue this year. A broken leg is keeping him from returning this weekend to Sturbridge.
And yet, Secretary of State John Kerry still wanted to send along this message.
Hello, everyone. I am really sorry that I can't be with you at the 35th Pan Mass Challenge, and I know from experience the excitement that is in the room and with all of the people waiting to cheer people along the way. To me, PMC weekend has always been the most inspiring weekend of the year. This is a one-of-a-kind story, and it's thanks to all of you, the riders, the volunteers, and the donors who bring their A-game year after year, and the most courageous people in the room, those fighting cancer. As a 12-year PMC rider and a survivor myself, I give my deepest thanks to all of you for taking part. And I want to remind you that although bike rides are a lot of fun, walking around on crutches is not, believe me. So stay safe out there, and best of luck to you all. Thanks so much. Have a great time.
Very good point by the Secretary of State.
With a goal of a total fundraising accumulation of $500 million since 1980.
And to raise that money, of course, riders will be biking from here in Sturbridge all the way to Provincetown over 2 days, 192 miles. And what's great is every single rider-raised dollar goes directly to Dana-Farber for cancer research and treatment.
And knowing the effort will save lives is the kind of emotion and power that gets these riders up even the steepest hills.
I've spoken considerably about the PMC culture of commitment. That's a good place to start as we remember our collective history and the people we honor by lining up to ride the PMC. The PMC was born out of a need to purge the pain caused by cancer through an endurance bike ride and determine if that synergy had mass appeal. As I share some of the character the PMC has developed since 1980, I hope viewers will grasp how passionately PMCers feel to be part of these metrics. For the first time ever, we have the sitting governor of Massachusetts and Boston's mayor riding. Committed individuals have come from 8 foreign countries and 41 states to ride in the Pan Mass Challenge. The PMC is a 75% alumni event. If I were to create my own Hall of Fame, it would likely start here. This year, we have 28 riders who have been riding for at least 30 years. You can only imagine the seeds they planted amongst their friends and families to ride, volunteer, donate, or all three. If you are one of the 28, please stand up. outstanding. Stay up. We have 272 cyclists who are 20-year alumni. If that is you, please join your brethren up. And we have 1,285 riders who are 10-year alumni. You could not ask for better ambassadors than this group. Stand up. Okay, sit down. If you ride in this event, you know it wouldn't be possible without comprehensive support of volunteers throughout 46 towns and 360 miles. Let's hear it for a record number of 4,000 volunteers. Last year's ride was the coldest and wettest in our history. Some might have seen this as a deterrent for future participation. Not us, not you. The Medal of the PMC Rider and Volunteer turned last year's deluge into a badge of honor. People could not wait to register this year. And why not? Could the weather ever be worse? No matter. We shut down two-day registration March 4th, 10 weeks earlier than the year before, and with 400 more riders added to it. In the final analysis, we now have 6,020 registered riders. 300 more are cycling to Provincetown, and an all-time high of 4,200 riding to Provincetown. Having said all that, if you think we are going to make this year's $45 million goal, 4 million more than a year ago, stand up and shout yeah. Go on. All of you are bringing a world without cancer closer by the mile. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Billy Starr. And you know, because of all the money that's raised by the PMC riders, kids who need cancer treatment are getting some of the best care in the entire world at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. This year, 100 of those kids will be teaming up with PMC teams as their official pedal partners. And let me tell you, when you're out on the road pedaling and your legs are tired and it's getting hot and you don't think you're going to make it, the smiles of those kids, the strength of those kids will keep you going. The Boston Bruins PMC team is riding this year for 3-year-old Kian, diagnosed with the rare liver cancer.
The stories of hope and survival and struggle and fight, and so when we're out there riding the bike, it really makes it all worthwhile.
We are so grateful for all of the riders and all of the money they raise.
For a second straight year, Team Perry will be riding for 7-year-old Kate.
We have benefited enormously, obviously, from what they've done, and we really appreciate it.
And getting to know the pedal partners and their family just make it so much extra special.
We're so impressed with the work they do and the money they raise. It's an awesome experience.
Last year, Team Flames rode for Jack, who was battling leukemia at the age of 2. This year, they will ride again for Jack, knowing the treatment is working. He is 1 year cancer-free.
His cancer, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was, 30% survived, and today it's over 90%. So we're just so pleased about that, and we know what we're doing are going to make it 100% someday.
We anticipate a warm ride this weekend, but memories of last year's weather may work to cool us all down a bit.
I mean, last year was unbelievable. It was cold, it was rainy, and yet even as we struggled, it only made us more committed to the PMC and this cause.
I'm joined now by Randy Pease. And Randy, you're riding, first-time rider, congratulations, for Rockstar Cycling. Tell me why you chose to ride this year. I love it.
I'm riding this year because my uncle received an unfortunate diagnosis about 2 years ago. We're a small and mighty team of 3, and we figured if we could do just a little bit to help people like him and everybody else, we might as well do it.
That's wonderful. And what has Dana-Farber meant for your uncle's stage 4 lung cancer treatment?
Yeah, so we've actually kind of channeled our funds into some specific research to help patients like my uncle's. We've raised $15,000, and we're aiming for some much, much higher goals next year and beyond.
And you got to do something pretty cool down at the New York Stock Exchange, right?
I did. Big shout-outs to the Convergix cycling team based in New York. We went and rang the bell a couple days ago. I didn't know that it was on my New York bucket list, but I checked it off, and it was pretty fantastic.
That's awesome. Little Birdie told me it's your birthday on Monday. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Thanks for your support behind you. More inspirational stories. Billy, back over to you.
The Pan Mass Challenge has come a long way. Our first year, 1980, we had 36 riders and we raised $10,200. I thought we could do better. Flash forward to 2014. We raised a record $41 million, thanks to many of the people in this room. So let's set another record this year. We're looking for another 10% increase. This year's campaign has a $45 million goal, 10% more than last year. We'll let you know how close we are already to this new record in a little bit. And if you'd like to make a donation, please log on to pmc.org.
It's obvious that everyone knows everyone. It certainly feels like a family reunion here in Sturbridge, but for one family, it's the real deal. They're the biggest family team, or one of, in the PMC.
We're talking about a family 3 generations strong in this ride and still growing.
17 family members either ride or volunteer, and it all started with the one man here who wasn't born a Galuzzo.
I'm Billy, and I'm a 25-year rider.
Billy Hamilton started riding the PMC in 1990 after his father died of cancer.
It's part of my DNA. It's part of who I am. I'm just honored to be part of it.
Billy's passion for the PMC became a family affair when he married Carol Galuzzo. It took on even greater meaning when Carol's brothers, Tony and Joe, were both treated for stage 4 nasal cancer.
I'm Joe, and I'm a 4-year rider.
After his treatment, Joe made a decision. He got on a bike for the first time in 50 years.
Does it mean more to you because you're a survivor?
It does. Dana-Farber saved my life, and this is my way of now giving back.
This year, he's found another way.
I'm Amy, and I'm a first-time rider.
Joe's daughter, Amy, is his new training partner.
Well, anyone can do it. You're finding a cure for cancer. You're basically pedaling for a cure, so it makes sense.
Right down to the kids' rides.
Elaine Gramaglia will be riding her 22nd PMC this weekend. She powers through the 192 miles, thinking of her twin brother the entire way. Please welcome Elaine Gramaglia.
Thank you. In October of 2004, just a few months after my 11th PMC ride, my twin brother Michael was diagnosed with colon cancer. He had surgery and his prognosis was good. On July 11th, 2006, Michael lost his battle. I was so angry that my cycling fundraising efforts did not save my brother's life. Michael and I were so close. It's hard to understand unless you are a twin yourself. We could communicate without actually speaking. Feeling heartbroken and angry, I decided that I wouldn't be able to ride in my 13th PMC until Michael's wife, Janet, told me that memorial donations would be made in his memory. That year, I raised $25,000. He spoke to me on my ride that year as I approached the hill called Purgatory, which I'm sure many of you remember. As I struggled on the climb, I could hear his breathing, same as it was in his last few days. It surrounded me, and for a few moments I felt like he was with me. I started passing all the riders, which I had never done in the past 12 years. Clearly he was with me. He was telling me to remain strong. I'm sorry. I will never forget that feeling, but my PMC story would soon reach another level. It was a rainy Sunday. Most of you know what that feels like. The roads were slick and I fell hard, breaking my collarbone, fracturing 3 ribs, and requiring 6 stitches in my finger. My 18th PMC ride is over. My bike eventually ended up at our local bike shop. While at home, I thought about the picture of my brother and myself that I had taped on my handlebars the year that he had died. I wondered if it had come off during the fall. I called the bike shop and asked Peter if the picture was on my bike, and he said no. Even though 2 weeks had passed, I felt a need to go back and look for the picture. I started looking on the ground and found it almost immediately. A little faded due to some heavy rain, but it was there. I could see my brother standing there with his foot on the picture, waiting for me to come and get it, saying, put my picture back on your bike and keep riding. I'm sure many of you have experienced similar incidents in your lives, even on this special weekend. Every one of us has been touched by love and loss in one way or another. I believe our loved ones are all with us. I know in my heart that my brother has become a part of the energy that surrounds us on PMC weekend. This is the PMC and why I continue with this amazing journey. Thank you for letting me share the story with you.
And thank you for sharing that amazing story. Well, you know, while PMC riders are training, they're also at the same time oftentimes coming up with very creative ways to raise money.
And this one was way too cute to pass up. Take a look at this. It is the PMC Pedal Puppy Calendar. And this doesn't go by your typical calendar. It doesn't start in January. It goes by the PMC year, which means it features 13 months of adorable dogs from this August through August 2016, which is, of course, next year's ride. Louise Santasuaso created this fabulous calendar. She's a 12-year rider. And, Louise, every one of these dogs has a connection in some way to the PMC.
That's right. So it was pretty easy to come up with the list of dogs. I have a huge network of donors over the years and people that I know are survivors or battling themselves, and people hate cancer and they love dogs. So I put out an email and, I mean, people were knocking on my door. So we have everything from a 3-legged mutt that they don't know where that came from to just a golden retriever, a Doberman named George. I mean, it was fun.
It is the cutest calendar. Thank you so much, and congratulations on a great fundraising idea.
Thank you so much. 50,000 this year.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Louise, thank you. Pedro Martinez, cute little kids, and now puppies. We're pulling out all the tricks. Billy, over to you.
So here it is. Our cumulative goal from 1980 until 2015. We want to hit the $500 million mark with this year's Pan Mass Challenge. As you're pedaling this weekend, think about this. Last year, we raised $1 million a day, Thursday through Sunday of PMC weekend. And I can tell you right now, we've done 5 days away to this point. So let's see if we're on pace for another record donation. And this total, well, that's where we are. This total will continue to grow straight through the weekend until October 1st. We're up 10% year to date. That's a good number, folks. Not as good as 45, but it's a good number. We're on our way.
We have for you tonight a very special message from 2 first-year VIP riders.
So for my friends and yours who have suffered with cancer and dealt with this dread disease over the course of many, many years, I just want to say how honored I am, my wife and I both are, to have this chance to pedal with you this weekend to raise money for a truly great global institution, Dana-Farber, and to be part of this great, great ride, which has done so much for cancer research for so many people for so many years. I hope to see you on on the bike route, and if I don't, I hope you have a great weekend because this is a great opportunity for us all to do something very special here in the Commonwealth.
I want to thank all the riders today. I want to wish you luck over the next couple of days, and I look forward to seeing you all at the finish line on Sunday. You're riding for a great cause, and I want to thank you again for all the folks and families that have been afflicted with cancer in the Dana-Farber for their great support. Riders, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
So great that the mayor and the governor are riding. Billy, before we go, any final words of encouragement for the riders?
Well, of course, safety first. Hydrate, communicate, have fun. You have all earned it.
Good luck to you, Lisa. Good luck to you, Billy. Good luck to all of you. And I know a lot of people who are leaving from Wellesley also watching at home tonight. We're going to have live coverage, by the way, of the ride all weekend long on Wbz-Tv. And if you still want to make a donation, of course, you have plenty of time to do so. They'll come in all the way until October. But just go to pmc.org.
Remember, every cent of every dollar that is donated goes to Dana-Farber to treat cancer now and to hopefully cure it in the future. We want to say on behalf of everybody at WBZ, good luck to all the riders this weekend. Be safe. We'll see you in Provincetown. Good night.